Indeed. That's the intro.
Man, come on, dude. Really?
No. I'm with you all the way. It's provocative and.
Aloha, mon ami.
I
I can't help. Where did I put my brush? Oh, there it is. I found it. What's up,
right.
Elliot?
What's up, man?
Not much. Just inking this here Kevin Sharp cover for Hats to Hat.
That looks great, dude.
I like it.
Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, spoilers.
The spoilers?
Spoilers.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Spoilers. And then I left his part in black and white. His signature. I'm in black. So it just printed out directly.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, and then I changed the rest of it to blue lines. All me to black line.
That's good. Oh, wow. Oh, he fixed the hand.
He did fix the hand.
It looks good. It looks really good. It didn't look terrible before. He would break his
thumb.
He would.
First thing you teach your son when he comes out of the womb is you don't make a fist with your thumb and your fingers.
Wow. Sorry. Gee.
Priorities. Aloha, Dennis Paruch. Dennis. Oh, I forgot to share this out. Sharing. Oh, wait. Did I forget to share? I think I. Maybe I did share it. I did share it. Never mind.
Did you share it?
Right, I didn't mute it.
I'm going to turn off my NDA work that I was working on earlier, and I'm going to put my Silverhawks piece that I've been noodling here and there for the last week.
Silverhawks. Oh wait,
yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah, Silverhawks.
Was Silverhawks Saturday morning or was that after school?
I'm gonna go Saturday morning. What are you drinking tonight, Elliot?
Am I drinking tonight?
What are you drinking? This is Inks and Drinks with Mike and Elliot.
I'll tell you what, it's Modelo, but it's hard to find now.
Really?
Yeah, I almost nowhere. Well, that's cool. That's a cool effect. Look at Nexus. He's drunk.
Nexus, you're drunk. Go home, Nexus. You're drunk. My freezer's broken, so I have no ice.
Oh no. Oh no. That's no bueno, Ron.
It's no bueno.
Drink plenty of water, though. Stay hydrated.
Why is the Modelo hard to find, Elliot?
I don't know. I think it's one of the it's a first world problem for me, but I'm sure it has something to do with inflation, fuel costs, something.
It's a first world problem. Is that a song or is it just something I made up in my head a while ago?
I think you just made that up. It sounds good though.
We should make that a song.
Check it out, man. Check it out.
That'd be a great song.
I'm trying to be like you with the digital.
Did you start that before?
I've been kind of goofing with it. I had a recording of some of it, so I posted it on Instagram. I said, let me just keep doing some more, and I'm kind of in the down cycle of my day, so
right on.
Trying to.
I just kind of recognize. I recognize.
It looks cool, right? It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna find the French curve, darn it.
There's not a lot of people commenting. There's 11
no, people just rolling in. It's kind of out of the blue, kind of a stream. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Until I decide to dedicate some time to actually being a YouTuber, which may or may not ever happen, it's just going to be these kind of streams. So,
what do you mean by that? You are a YouTuber. What are you talking about?
And I don't take this seriously enough to
for
Paul.
proper.
Oh.
Level 4 says this is a comment.
Yes.
Right on.
This is a comment. Thank you, Wilberforce Worcester. Much appreciated.
This is the comment. In the event of an emergency, we'll make some more comments.
This comment will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
But yeah, I'm having a hard time finding this beer. I think it's something's going on in the marketplace here in the Floridas.
And it definitely is going on all over the place.
Well, it's hard. Yeah,
CC, what's up? Oh, CC, bro, I got your stuff. I got your stuff packed and stacked and sitting on my kitchen table. But it has been, my brother visited this week, and it has been hard to get away and make time to go. And it's totally an excuse because I'm sure I could have made time, but it wasn't on my mind at the time when I had the time.
You were always on my mind.
You were always on my mind.
CC, I won't see you this year in New York, man. We're skipping New York this year.
New York City. Get a rope.
That's okay. It's a good.
Oh, Dennis got his dryer fixed. I am jealous, my man.
His dryer?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Are you guys like in a competition for whose appliance gets fixed first?
Yeah, I need to fix my dryer. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna take some time out tomorrow. As soon as I'm done with this, and then I have a church barbecue tomorrow. But after that, I am going to do some research on trying to figure out how to fix me dryer, because we need a dryer. It's weird.
Yeah.
Funny things happen when you ain't got a dryer.
You should probably get your dryer fixed.
I know, right?
It might not be a big deal either. It might just be the belt or something.
I think Dennis was on the right course. He mentioned an ignition.
Oh, my bad.
Switch or whatever, because it's not getting hot and it's not starting the cycle. So I think I'm like, that makes sense.
I didn't hear that part. All right, very good. You're probably correct about that. But still,
it's not like I haven't fixed my washer and dryer before. It's just I didn't, for some reason, fixing it isn't the first thing that pops into my mind. It's like going and getting a new one does. I don't know. I'm part of this generation that just throws things away now, I guess.
Don't do that, Michael. Don't do things.
I know, right?
We're gonna have to make some choices here.
Fixie. It is only a 15-year-old Samsung dryer.
Oh, well, in that case, chuck it. I'm just kidding.
Leave it.
Oh man, so
not going either. Sounds like.
Let everybody know if you guys are interested in commissions, you guys can hit me up, y'all.
Hey.
Because I got space right now.
Elliot is open for commissions.
We need some work, y'all.
Yeah.
So just let your people know, Michael.
My people will know when the time comes. Actually, the time may be coming quicker. I'll talk to you about that later.
Okay.
The time may be coming. I had a meeting today with that dude, and trying to lay some groundwork, foundational stuff, so that we can bring some other people on at some point, hopefully in the near future, because we do need to. Hopefully, it will be more work than I can handle soon.
Okay.
And then,
I'm gonna have. Yeah, I'll tell you more about that later too. I got issues.
All the secret projects.
No, nothing like that. It's situations. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
It's like your problem with the dryer, except it's my bank account. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some prayer, brother. Need some prayer.
I hear you. Anybody need a commission from Elliot tonight would be epic. So,
No, I'm not trying. I'm just saying
no,
for the
no hustle, just reality.
for
Elliot is obviously a man. Oh, look at this! Why are these little freaking winged ants on my?
They're
so
everywhere,
annoying.
dude. They're like it's like the sign of the apocalypse, bro. They were here my office for a while, and last year, and then I finally got rid of them.
And you send them to me?
I don't know. They went, but I don't know what's going on with that. But my office was getting like infested with them. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. It was really bad. So be careful, and make sure they're not termites.
Thanks a lot. No, termites are bigger than those.
Well, no, termites are smaller.
No. Termites are bigger than ants. That's like a winged ant. That thing was like.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And by the way, we do have termites, man. One of the boards, I have this big, beautiful redwood deck that I built with my own 2 bare hands. And I went out the other day last week, and one of the boards just crunched under my feet. I'm like, no! Because it's like freaking 12, 13 years old now, or older. Right. And dude, I can't just replace one redwood board in this thing. It would look like they're all gray, and then I slap a brand new shiny.
So if you have them in your wood, does that mean that they're in your house?
Yeah, probably.
Oh God, don't say that, please.
It is what it is, dude. You can't get away from termites. What's crazy is, dude, I've been to Italy, and I've been in this freaking 1,000-year-old building, like castle type building thing with wooden stairs that are like, they're worn down from age, but they're like 1,000-year-old pieces of wood that look like, they look weathered, but they don't look like they're a freaking 1,000 years old. And you just walk on them. It was a hotel that used to be a monastery.
From Italy?
In Italy, yeah.
That's where you got your wood from?
No. When we were in Italy. I'm just saying, there was this 1,000-year-old wood.
I thought that's what you were saying. Okay.
And I'm like, how long is wood good for?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Wood was a bloody 1,000 years old. Huh?
I would imagine it could last for a while because they eventually can petrify. So CC says, Jerkmonger, Andy has been stumping. Yes, he has. For Lab Comics, got a Jose Varese Lady Death remark on his sketchbook, Hot and Sweet Brother. Thank you for that, man. Jose's a killer artist, and he's excited for this next project too. They just launched their next Kickstarter tonight. Jose Varese. So if y'all want to check that out, check out Jose Varese. He says he's not been replaced though. Let's do it. Thundar and Ukla. Ooh, I like Thundar. I want
to read this one. Smike Smiller, creepy grifter, as bad as Porter and Liam. Who's Porter? First, who's Porter? Second, explain yourself, Robert Shepard. What have I grifted? Or do you not understand the meaning of the word grift? Possible.
Grifter was a comic character too from Wildcats.
That's true. Maybe he thinks I'm just a really good aim with my 6-shooter.
Maybe he thinks you're a Wildcats.
Maybe he does. Although he did say creepy, so.
Well, Wildcats was kind
also,
of creepy.
What would you consider creepy? What is your definition of creepy? Because I think you're using words that don't apply.
I like the word creepy for Scooby-Doo purposes.
Yeah, but
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
That's good. That was appropriate.
It was so appropriate.
You were just waiting.
My detractors have very low IQs, so I don't know what to do with them.
Oh, I have a low IQ also. So
Yeah, but we love you anyways.
I know. I can
Jiminy says, "Smack that button like it's Nasser." I can appreciate that. Thank you, Jiminy. James Hayes hopes everyone is doing good and feeling well. That's the goal, James. Thank you, and same to you and everyone in the chitty chat chat.
Chickadee chat. Chickadee check 1. Chickadee check 1, 2. Chicka.
So I was on with Siege earlier. I know you can't see the video because I privated it.
Okay.
Because Siege brought up this video on YouTube. It was a commercial, and it was a commercial for this old movie. And we started watching the video, and there was naughty bits in the trailer. And I'm like, whoa!
The trailer?
In the trailer. I'm like, this is like a Red Band trailer. She's like, it's not. I didn't see. There's nothing. And I'm totally blaming Siege because it's all her fault. But yeah, so I had to private that video, which was me inking Nexus here. But maybe I'll go in and edit it or something. YouTube's edit function sucks. But yeah, I don't need that stuff on my channel. So bad Siege, bad.
What was the theme of the film?
Oh, it was a movie called Microwave Massacre.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh no. Okay.
I'm totally throwing the Siege on the bus right now, just so everybody knows.
She's gonna see it and go, "What? What?"
Jiminy says, "Have you seen Siege's art, Mike? She's all about the naughty bits." Oh, all about the naughty. All right. CC says, "Sorry, I have been away for a bit in between jobs, so catch me up on what you are working on so I can support." Well, this right here is the back cover for Nexus Lone Star Bigfoot Bill crossover in Monster Hunt 2. Link is in the description. Lone Star 3 still available. Colors are coming in slowly, not as quickly as I would like. I haven't even posted any of the colors. Actually, because I want to once I get more in, I want to go in and do some editing on the colors myself. So I don't think I don't know, man. I'm not 100% thrilled with what my colorist is turning in. I hope he doesn't watch my show, but
it's late now,
so I'm gonna want to go in and do some editorializing. At one point I thought about using this other colorist that I'm using for BitBoy, but even he's being slow. I'm like, is every colorist on planet Earth just a freaking slowpoke? I mean, what is the deal?
Well, McDonald's is not hiring anybody right now, so or they can't hire anybody. Maybe that's the same thing. Colorists are saying, "I'm done with this Mike Miller stuff." I'm just kidding, Michael. I have no idea.
Breaking my heart, man.
I'm sure that's not what it is at all.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, it's kind of grinding my gears a bit. And so I have been coloring my own stuff. Did you see the 2-page spread colors that I did? I showed them on Wednesday. That's right.
Yeah. What's going on, Hector?
What's up, Hector? So you did a coloring of some art posted on Twitter. You are killing it. Do it yourself. Looking nice. Thank you, CC. I shoot. At this point, I might. So annoying. But the thing is, I have these other projects going on that it makes it financially sort of unfeasible for me to be coloring a whole book, because I am still a very slow colorist. I haven't learned all the tricks and bells and whistles and things that, like, man, some colors can crank out 3 pages a day and they're just glorious.
Yeah.
And like, if I tried to do 3 pages in a day, it would look like freaking crayons.
Yeah, I definitely admire many great colorists that I'm aware of. And they are. It's definitely an art, and I genuinely respect those cats.
Yeah.
They're doing such a
What I'm
great
gonna
job.
do is at some point I'm going to.
You're gonna zoom, and boom, boom.
No. I'm gonna. Well, maybe that's possible if I knew what that meant. But dude, I'm gonna go like hire like Laura Dupuis. Oh wait, no, she changed her name. Laura Martin. Like one of these days, I'm just gonna be like, Laura, how much is Marvel paying you? And then I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna triple that.
Is she a friendly person?
Oh yeah, super.
I am. She's incredible. She's one of my favorites. If there's any in particular, she's one of my. That's the one. That's one of the ones on my head when I talk about colors. Laura Martin is incredible.
Yeah.
Brian
She's one of
Stelfreeze
the
is
old
great.
Wildstorm heads.
Yeah, but she's dynamite. Brian Stelfreeze is great too, but his color palettes are really interesting.
I love Brian Stelfreeze, man.
Yeah,
I can't. Not in a gay way, but his art. I've never actually even met him. I stood over his shoulder and watched him work at Dragon Con, but I never I didn't even introduce myself. I was just like,
he and I became buddies and like at one of these shows, like at a Heroes.
Yeah.
And he's such a nice guy, man. He's such a sweet gentleman. And he's anyway, every time he does these shows, he's got like a cluster of guys all around him, like just like almost like when I met Walter and just trying to learn what's going on. Like, hey, tell me more.
Yeah,
he's such a wellspring of knowledge.
Yep, and he was I don't even know how to say it. He was like the stylistic head of Gaijin. Like all those guys were cribbing stuff off of Stelfreeze, who was just so, I don't know, out of the box thinking. You know what? Stelfreeze is like the Lion Decker of comics.
Yeah. I prefer his color work anyway. Although sometimes when his angular stuff is great, I just don't always. I can't read it very well in my head for some reason. It doesn't always read for me, but his color work is outstanding. I mean, he's a master.
Sorry to interrupt, but CC needs some advice. I think more from you than from me.
What's that?
He says, "Hold up, need a refill. Should I grab a Canehead High or a Screwball whiskey?" I will say that Screwball gives me a headache. So
Screwball's good though.
It is good. Screwball's not too far away from what I'm drinking. I'm drinking Tennessee honey whiskey.
I still have a little bit of my Maker's Mark over there. I might get some of that in a little bit. But right now, Modelo's the song for me tonight.
Modelo, it's making me feel mellow. What is going on here?
Do you think would you say that? I'm trying not to answer. I'm trying not to ask this question and lead you into a specific response. Would you say my art in this work here looks more or less natural? Is it still very digital to you?
Oh, are you using which pen are you using?
I'm using the Clayton Henry brush.
Clayton Henry brush.
Yeah.
Zoom in. Zoom.
It's got some tooth to it.
Yeah, no, it does feel organic.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm using that. I can't remember what it's called, the Giseki brush or something like that.
Oh yeah, I always it makes me think of gooseneck.
Well, the only problem is you can't fill with it because it's not a full opacity brush. So every time I try to fill anything with it, it just fills the whole page.
Oh yeah. Now this was one I got this on Gumroad a while back. It's a great brush. You know Clayton Henry at all?
From How to Draw Comics?
No. He he does some DC work. Recently, he's been doing some like Superman, Batman stuff, and among other things. But he's got a great profile on Instagram. He does a really good job. Anyway, he sells this on Gumroad. It's very inexpensive. I think it may literally be a couple of bucks. But it's a good brush for Procreate.
Yeah, I'll have to try some different things. I'd like to get something that can give me the kind of lines I can get with a real brush. Because like all this NFT stuff I'm doing, it's almost all I'm doing it all digital.
But you can always you can do traditional and scan it, right?
I can, but when I do that, I lose the video. Right? And that's something we want to offer as one of the one of the NFTs where you get the video of the creation of the cards.
You could always do the just record it with a camera.
Yeah, so much of my work. And I don't think that audience is going to care about the originals.
No, so. It's more about if you just want to get that natural look in your work. If it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, and it is about all the time how it's really just such an interesting dilemma everybody's found themselves in. It's like digital is a tool, man. Digital is a tool, and if you just like who was it? Someone said recently was barking about digital tools versus traditional. I'm like, man, a pencil is technology, you know.
Mm-hmm. You're not just using a stick of charcoal anymore.
That's right. So it's Everett tosses Elliot. Are you using Clip Studio? I was using Clip Studio for another project that I needed. This unfortunately, I can't create a file, a document at a larger size. I had to create some art recently at 700 DPI, and Procreate won't make an 11x17 document at that size because it's too large for its.
At what size?
700 DPI.
Oh.
So I ended up switching over to Clip because Clip operates a lot more like Photoshop, and that it gives you some extra options. But I think I still prefer, and I have some nice brushes for Clip Studio, but Clip Studio is a very complicated interface in comparison. So I feel like I get a lot more accomplished and faster in Procreate. So this is Procreate, by the way.
Hey, that colored cover I just did. I did that in Procreate at I think 300 at full scan size. So I think it was 600 DPI, 11x17. Oh, no, not 11x17. 22x17.
What's that? You did it how large?
11x17, 600 DPI. It only gave me 6 layers.
Yeah, like this one, it would not even give me a file at 700 DPI. So there must be a cutoff there, whatever that is. Which is weird because I was like, really? It was really weird was the request to have it. I don't understand it. I don't know why it's I don't get why that's necessary, but whatever.
That is a strange DPI. Everyone's like, what's a DPI?
Dots per inch, but technically it's not even dots per inch. This is actually more pixels per inch, but when you're working in digital art. So, and even that I could never figure out. And when I was in t-shirts, it was lines per inch. How about that?
Lines.
Pablo says 700 DPI. That's insane. Ever says I bought some decent brushes for Clip for $250. You know who does a great? If you're interested in some great brushes for Clip, you go look up Frienden. Frenden. Frienden. He has an incredible set and is very, very cost effective or cost I don't know what's the word. I don't know. That's the word. It's the
Hey.
opposite of prohibitive.
Allowative.
Allowative, yeah. This is coming out kind of nice, right? What I might do is I'm trying. I want to open up a store soon. Affordable. Thank you, Hector. That was dumb. I'm like, it's cost effective. Yeah, but cost effective isn't really the term. CC says, Jerkmark, staying in Tampa or going to other cons would be good to meet up with you and Andy. I lost 5 pounds due to COVID. What? That's great, man.
No.
Turns out Andy the only show we're doing is a Tampa show, and that's only because Andy couldn't get his money back for the table. So we're gonna just do that show after all. We had intended not to do any more shows, so we're kind of wrapped up for the year. We want to try to focus. Right now, I'm desperately trying to pay some bills. So then after that, I want to focus as much time as possible on Doom Kicker, and I really want to have that complete very, very soon. So that's my biggest goal right now, is to have that book squared away and soon. And I'd rather spend that energy working on that than trying to get a convention, especially since the conventions, I'm not sure they're as strong. We saw some pictures from some various shows that have happened already, and they're not showing.
A little dead.
A little bit. But it is the first year back, and people are still a little anxious about the circumstances that may or may not have occurred. When is the con in Tampa? It's at the end of July, the end of next month, as a matter of fact. So CC was asking.
Yeah, you know that most of the clientele going to the con at this point, they have a more freedom-minded mindset.
Yes.
The more sheepish people you might see.
But that the convention, the overall customer base does, in order for those shows to be lucrative, they require the whole crowd,
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why New York was like, they were already talking about keeping it limited to like half what do you call that? Half capacity, yeah. And I was like, man, that's just an expensive show to go to. I just don't know if it's worth doing if we can't really. Plus, what I want to do next, one of the blessings in disguise, you might say, in this whole situation for me is just really focusing. It shifted my focus away from, I'm doing fan art right here, but in general, I don't do much fan art at all. And because it really just kind of forced me to just say, hey, wait a minute, man, I got stuff I got to do, and let's just take care of that as much as we can. So I'm really focusing on the books that I have to finish, the work I have to finish. This is for me like a warm up, cool down thing. I've been kind of goofing with it for a little bit. So, yeah, Elrod says people going to cons now are eager to spend. That sort of. But you got to remember, we still have a rough economy going on out there with weird stuff happening. Inflation's happening. So I got a funny feeling people are not as willing to spend, I think, as they were when we had another president who was a little better at economic policies than the one that we got now.
He was a little better with the business end of business.
Turns out, he said, business is my specialty. This other guy, not so much.
Speaking of the other guy,
my predecessor. Oh God, I miss him.
Yeah, man. CC, let me know. Let me know whatever you want, man. I'm available. I'm a little bit like a. I was gonna be crass. I won't be crass. I'll be crass.
Don't be crass. My wife was giving me crap for being crass on my show.
I'm not gonna do it, Michael. I won't do it anymore. Right. I'm done with the crassness, except for bleep 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 bleep. Anyway.
Blippity blippity blue.
But yeah, man. So we'll see how everything rocks and rolls. Like I said, it's way more effective to go into those shows with your own stuff than it is to go into those shows with everybody else's stuff. You know, Andy and I call it billboarding when we're doing other people's work. You know, like when I'm drawing Batman or whatever. It's one thing to do a commission. I'm happy with that, but it's when you're, you know, that's what you're building. And I don't have any problem with anybody else that does it. It's fine. I don't care. But I want to keep moving forward. So the only way to do that is to create your product and then get it out there. And so the next time, I've never really done a strong presentation of my own product out in the marketplace besides commission works, prints, you know, and I really want to do, you know, Doom Kicker's part of that process. And I have some other plans for Doom Kicker down the way. Actually, I need to get in touch with Doug soon to let him know what I'm planning, and so he's either on board or not. But otherwise, I have other plans. So next year is going to be fun. If the Lord willing, let's put it that way. The Lord willing, there's some cool things I want to have done after Doom Kicker, post Doom Kicker, life after Doom Kicker. It's gonna be good times. Good times.
I can't remember the theme. I can't remember the words.
I don't know what you're talking
about. Yeah, you remember Terry, right? Terry Hudson?
No. Oh yeah, Terry, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he started doing those funky, like, chicks from all over. I can't remember how you call them. It's like you know, different girl. They were his own IP characters, but it was, I don't know, it seemed like he was doing giant tarot card characters or something, but they weren't tarot cards.
Okay.
Do you remember what it was?
I kind of. I didn't see him a lot towards the tail end of the last convention circuit I went to, so I don't remember all that he had. I do remember something he was posting to at one point.
Yeah, he was saying that those things were doing really well. Like, he was really the response to it was just fantastic, and it was his own thing. Even though, you know, Terry's known for doing all the other characters and pinup arts and billboarding, as you say. I mean, hell, he's one of the first guys to do the giant walls.
Yeah.
But he said those things when he finally sat down and said, "I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna do my own thing, damn it."
yeah. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with drawing Batman or anybody else. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just that there's when you're planning on doing kind of what let's just take you, Mike, for example. This is for the sake of the crowd, you know, so they don't think I'm just trying to dump on them. What I'm saying is that when you're creating your own stuff, you know, the more you advertise, every time you draw a character, it's nothing. Again, there's nothing wrong with that if you don't care. But if you do care, you're trying to promote your own product. It's kind of like I'm borrowing the idea from Gene Simmons when he told all those bands, you know, why are you wearing other people's T-shirts? You should be wearing your band's T-shirt. You know, you should always be advertising, promoting your product. You know, and so it's a betrayal of your own product to a degree. If you have a product, if you don't, if you're just, you know, if you're just an illustrator, you just want to draw your stuff. But I will say there is definitely a cap, even in the best circumstances, even before COVID and before all the stuff that's happening, even in the best of circumstances, there's still a cap. And I hit a wall at one point too. And it's not a complaint. It's just the reality, right? You know, you can only look if you're the Batman guy, if you draw Batman, there's the Batman guy in the same artist alley down the way. There's a David Finch or whoever is out there who's drawing Batman at the moment, and you're never going to be. It's never going to be. What I always thought I could do is somehow compete, but when you're not drawing that product, you're not really competing at all. You're just kind of like hanging out on the sidelines, and it's not because, and it may not even be because. It's not has anything to do with the quality of your work as it is just the perception of the clients. The audience feels like, well, this guy's published and he's drawing Batman right now, and even though I draw a pretty mean Batman, if I had to spend money on this or that, which one am I going to spend it on? Well,
dude,
Elliot,
you know what? One of the reasons I bailed on cons was, and this isn't jealousy. This was just a stark reality that I was facing. My buddy Oli was still doing great, and my sales were down by 50% once the Avengers blush was off the rose. Once that Avengers movie, what was it, Endgame? Not Endgame, the other one. Once that other Infinity War. When that movie hit, dude, it was like the air got let out of the tires of the Comic-Con industry, and people were just like, "Oh, good, we're done." And they stopped coming in, and the ones that were still coming in looking for stuff. They were looking. Okay, here's the reason Oli's stuff was still doing great, and it was like Boss Logic stuff and John Gallagher stuff. He's Oli's a art rep. And it was all photo manipulation stuff. It was all digital photo manipulation. So you had the actual photograph of Chris Evans or Chris, whichever Chris, and then manipulated into some relatively unique pose or whatever. And to me, to the trained eye, looking at that stuff, it was like, Boss Logic does some cool stuff, but it's still all this digital photo manipulated stuff. And John Gallagher, same thing. He's a professional. He does this for the WB. But I look at it and I'm like, wow, it's like low definition. It's, he cribbed this from the internet, that from the internet, he pieced them together, and he made these images. And I mean, dude, the fans are going to want what the fans are going to want, but they aren't fans of comic art.
Sure. That's part of it. Yeah. Penny Milk, what's going on, man? He says something interesting. He says there's a making your own stuff has a ceiling, though. It's also the same super stuff. Not if you're not just doing super stuff. And I think that's my thing, is I don't plan on just doing super stuff. I actually have a lot of different plans. And so, yeah, if you're just trying to, again, if you're competing out there, that's why you have to just go with your audience. And that's why I still believe so much in the, what's it called? What do we call this? Crowdfunding method, because it still has so much potential for your own audience to appreciate what you do. If you're doing traditional stuff and you think you're to Mike's point, you're again, the guy that draws that, if you're a collector, the guy that draws it's there, or if you're more of a casual fan, let's face it, the casual fans really are just fans of the movies.
Yeah.
So I could see why the digital stuff is appealing, because it has, it's like, wow, I've never seen Chris Evans do that. Because he never did, and that's not to take anything away from those artists, because I appreciate that art as well, and I can do art like that. It's just I still
but it was just a reality to me that's not I'm not gonna, dude, I'm a freaking 20, almost a 30-year veteran in this industry, but the people coming to these cons, they don't care about comic books, they don't care about comic artists. I mean, they're there for the Chris's. Mm-hmm. And the Toms and the whatever other actors are du jour.
But that stuff, I think, I don't know if that stuff's gonna, in the end, I don't think long term that has staying power either.
I don't either, but
it is affecting our business now.
Yeah, and I'm not a real fan of traveling around the country going to cons.
Like I said, I'd rather spend that time. I mean, it's nice to make a good chunk of money from here and there, but it's not very frequent. And again, I don't have that kind of work that I display. So, again, it's not a complaint. It's just a reality situation. And I just go with what I know I can do. And if I can do that, then I'll go work whatever, McDonald's, whatever. I don't care. But it's I'm going to try to do as much as this as I can. So if it's an either or proposition for you, then you may want to try something different. But if you are, if you're willing to be flexible,
I'm trying some things different.
Yeah, no, well, I'm saying it's yeah, you're doing a lot of cool stuff that a lot of people, may not even realize how important it is right now, but it'll all have its moment in the sun. Jalapeno says, I love super stuff, but as I'm thinking about it, I want to see more stuff like what you're trying with Doom Kicker. Well, there you go. See, CC says, Erodimus says, well, people like to buy what's safe, what they think they can do. That's why photography outsells others at 20 to 1. Sure. I mean, I do pretty well at shows. Don't get it twisted. It's just not, and for me, it's a cost when you do the analysis. Was it worth the drive? Was it worth the trip? How much time did you lose?
Time away from your family.
Yeah. That's a big deal. It's a lot bigger deal than you would think, and being on the road, I did it for a long time. I've been doing conventions for, wow, for a long time now. And, when I first started, I fully intended the biggest reason why I did it was I was trying to make money, but I was also trying to get work with the big two. And after meeting Mike and some of the other folks, that stopped being a priority. It's just when the reality set in that, well, they're not really interested in me for a variety of reasons, whatever those reasons may or may not be. And so I realized, wait a minute. And that's when you guys used to hear me say things like, Spider-Man's dead, and it's not that obviously he's not dead, but I'm just saying that it doesn't do me any good to go out there trying to get to be part of a process or a system, an industry that doesn't want you. I don't do it in real life. If I've overstayed my welcome, I move on. But we'll see. CC says, Jerkmonger, the Jerkmonger that you have on t-shirts and coffee cups, I would want a hand-drawn commission. That is a great piece of art. Oh yeah, you're talking about the Jerkmonger character. So that character is actually I started a comic strip with him. He's the Jerkmonger. It's just a strip it's really about me and my kids and my family. And I didn't get too much farther than where I started. Is because, that's definitely a phase for me. That's a phase 2 or 3 project now, because I need to take care of other business. But regardless, I'll be happy.
You want a commission? Do the commission.
Oh, CC's one is a doll to me. So he's always been very, very faithful that way. I appreciate him, and all of you guys that have commissioned me in the recent years, and I really appreciate all you guys for all of that. Thanks so much. Hopefully I just need to strike up some business here. I got some plans. They seem to be moving forward, but they're not moving fast enough. So I need to come up with some dough in the short term.
Do re mi.
Yeah. But but cons are fun though. I missed conventions though. I do miss the camaraderie and the meeting people and like I said,
if I don't do cons, I'll never see Ed McGuinness again.
Say again?
I said I feel like if I never do cons, I'll never see Ed McGuinness again. He's like we're really good friends, and it's like, but we only see each other at cons because it's like, no, I'm not gonna freaking take a vacation and go hang out in Bangor, Maine.
Somebody lives in Maine. Gosh,
he lives in freaking
what's
Maine.
going on there in Maine?
But I mean, we did want to do the Tokyo Con together. So I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll like try to make that happen.
You gotta find a way to sneak me into your luggage for that. I'm a little large, I'm a little heavy, but
Yeah. So that the bag is a very overweight. Then you hear I'm not that overweight.
Wait a minute. Is that a fat joke? All right. Let's see here. But yeah,
That'd be a good jerkmonger comic strip where you're trying to do that, and then the guy says, "Yeah, the bag is very overweight," and then just from the inside the bag says, "Don't judge me."
Who do you think you are, Mister? All right, this guy's coming out pretty cool.
Still believe.
Silverhawks.
Who is tapping my back? Oh, look how pretty. You want to put him here? Eden's making macarons. Hey, can you go turn the AC down?
Oh, is she still doing that? Like, is she still selling those?
Yeah, this is for actually a job, a gig.
Nice. Good job.
Let me
Good job.
rinse this up real quick. What's up, Josh Graydon? Still believe.
Hey, Josh.
Like to share, everyone. Oh yeah, I forgot to get to this. CC says so true about cons, but true fans will want the real comic art at some point. Yes, true. My thing is, I'd like to get some more true comic fans.
Yeah,
know?
I think we need to build those now, right? I don't know that they. I'm glad that the movies have come out and all, and I never thought I'd see the Hulk on the big screen, and I'm super happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it has kind of replaced the magic of comics, right? In some form or another. Not really, but it certainly has zapped people's energy. There's a lot of fatigue out there for this stuff too.
Yeah,
you know.
True. Man, Kevin drew some kind of weird reflection here, but I can't tell exactly what it is. I think it's supposed to be like his head and his hand, but I need to redraw. Sorry, Kevin, got to redraw because I don't understand what you did.
Vic says, didn't Elliot used to make good money as a macaron?
As a macaron?
Macaron? I don't know what that means.
Yeah. He made good money eating them.
I don't know if I ever made money eating anything. Usually requires me spending.
Great job, right? You ever like watch Anthony Bourdain and you're like, wow, what a job.
Oh, that's a good job.
Give me that job right there.
Well, it was for him. Poor guy. He had issues. Feel bad for him.
Everybody's got issues, bro.
It's true. We all got dirt. We all got stuff we got to work on.
D&Q is a good way to make comic fans. I just wish there was a way to make D&Q reach more people. I do think it's a good show. We have some shows are better than others, but they're usually pretty fun. And I don't know, man.
It's well, it's my fault, Mike. It's my fault. I don't I turn people away, apparently.
Oh no, I know whose fault it is. We don't need to go there.
It's Siege's fault. I didn't.
No, Siege is not at fault. Oh, whoa! Did I say that? Oh, jeez Louise. Yes, it is Siege's fault. Everything is Siege's fault. She tried to get my channel struck today with naughty bits. Jeez.
I'm super curious about this now.
I'll send you the thing.
You know what I just watched playing in the background while I was working? I've been working in the living room. I got a new one of those lap desks. My wife confiscated mine. So I'm like, okay, I need another one now. So I got one anyway. So I'm working in the living room. I'm like trying to be with the family, but still working on stuff. And so I had playing in the background. Everyone's asleep at this point. What's that movie? Hell Night or something like that. Remember with Linda Blair? That weird horror movie. I was like, what? It's on Prime. I didn't know that. And so I watched it. That is a terrible movie. And I think I love
the
it.
one that was like semi pornographic.
No. As a matter of fact, that's ironic because it's actually pretty tame. It got an R rating, but and back then that must have been bad, but it got an R rating for the violence. And the violence was so cartoonish. It was just stupid, like this one guy gets impaled on a fence. It was the most ludicrous. Like, I'm not even sure. They didn't even try to explain like why these creepy people were at the house or whatever. Hell Night. Is it Hell Night? I don't remember what it was. Yeah, Penny was trying to correct me. But it was it was hilarious. I loved it though. I loved it. I'm starting to appreciate low budget stuff a lot more because I think I understand now. Like, I've been getting more and more involved in creation than just illustration. So it's like that stuff is not cheap. So if you got to make a packet of ketchup explode for your blood, then that's what you got to do. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Godspeed. Not everybody has the budget of a Spielberg, But regardless, Linda Blair, she was beautiful.
I was in a fight scene in a low budget film one time when I was at my Wing Chun teacher was like a stunt coordinator for movies.
Oh yeah.
But it was like a super low budget thing, and I remember them. They were breaking this glass panel with a hammer, like when a guy was supposed to go break through it.
Uh-huh.
And it was like funny, just like being behind the scenes, is that the guy doesn't just jump through the window. It's like they time it so when he's running up to the window, they break it with a hammer, and he just flies through the breaking glass.
Okay.
And it just seems so low budget.
Yeah.
And they're like, they have me and the other students being the thugs that are getting beaten up as extras with no remuneration. It's like, no, you're just going to be in the movie. We're not getting paid for this. No.
It's funny. I've done some concept art for like monster designs for a few movies, and they're all low budget movies, and I finally saw one of the movies. It was my first one, and at first I was like, what is this? And then I thought, no, man, this is exactly what it's supposed to be. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. It's low budget. This is what it takes to get something out there. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, this goes back to the conversation we were touching on earlier. Just get your stuff out there, man. It's like the worst that can happen is people won't like it, and then you try something different, but if you don't do it, you'll never know, and I got to give respect to people that put themselves out there to get something done versus just talking about it. Anyone can armchair quarterback anything, but man, I love it when someone puts their heart and soul into something, and I may not always, it might not be my cup of tea, but I'm never gonna, it's like when I'm thinking about like young people, like young students, they ask me questions. I'm like, you know what, man, go for it, man. Just go for it. If you're trying to be 1,000% who you think you're supposed to be, normally people don't get that good until they spend a lot of time doing what they're supposed to do. Those 10,000 hours. If you don't put that time in, it's not going to be there.
That's why you have to love to draw, whatever it is. I say draw, but you can add this to cooking, horseback riding, being an auto mechanic, whatever it is. If you have a love for doing it, and you'd sit there and you'd do it for free, that's how you get excellent at things. And I understand that, if you don't want to dig ditches for a living, so you want to learn a skill, and I totally respect that.
Sure.
But for when you have a love for something, and that thing is something that can make you a living at some point.
Yeah.
Well, actually, here I'm going to contradict myself. At that point, when you're finally doing that thing you love for a living, that's the fastest way to stop loving that thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've been there a few times, but it's still it's still important though. Like if you're gonna be good at it, you gotta just do it. And I spent a lot of my young professional life doubting myself, and that was really a sabotage of my own self. I mean, I came across, while I was looking at other nonsense movies to play in the background, I came across a movie I had never seen that it stars Bill Paxton. It's one of his earliest films from like '83, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, dang, I didn't even know he made this movie. And I'm just
Microwave Massacre. No,
yeah, right. It may have been, and I just thought to myself, like, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm gonna love him for what he did, and I'm glad he did what he did. And it's sad that he's passed now, but it took him to do those first movies first before he could do other trash movies that he would do later.
All the trash that we love.
Yeah. But so be it, man. It's all a blessing, man. You start to just appreciate the journey in that case.
Just remember, Bill Paxton was Chet before he was in Aliens.
He was Chet before he was in Aliens and Predator.
Yeah.
And what was it? He was in the third one. What's the third one? Predator.
Terminator.
Aliens. Terminator. Yeah. Yeah. That might have been one of his
laundry day tomorrow. Nothing clean, right? Nothing clean, right? Your clothes, give them to me. Not you, man.
Yeah, he was a great biker villain guy for the time. Did he have a mohawk in that scene? And he had like griddle face or something? He had some kind of like waffle face, or one of those guys had like a. That was so funny, that time of punk, when people were trying to look like they were something that they really were not at all.
Well, no. The thing was that Hollywood was trying to make people Hollywood trying to do punk rock always just made real punk rockers laugh.
Yeah.
The only thing that really got close to what the punk scene was like was probably Suburbia.
Never saw it.
Oh.
Which is that one?
It was like a real independent, like homeless punk rocker, kids living in suburbia. Like some of them had homes, some of them were living in these abandoned houses, and I don't know. It was just so real. Yeah, not the one with what's his face, the one where he's spying on his neighbor like a creeper.
I don't know that one either.
That dude, the young kid from Transformers.
Shia
LaBeouf.
LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Oh,
let me see if I can find the Suburbia. I think it was like 1985.
Dude, the one I want to see next, it came up on my screen, was Escape from the Bronx. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that. I remember that movie. It scared the crap out of me.
Dang it! This is a Red Band trailer. All right, let me. This is exactly what happened earlier.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna look through it real quick.
Oh, so the Shia LaBeouf was Disturbia.
Oh, it was Disturbia.
Yeah, a jalapeno just corrected all of us. We were all fools to believe ourselves. It's good stuff, man. I'm excited about
swearing.
Don't play this.
Nudie bits.
Mad at you. She's gonna blame me. I don't want to be involved.
Wait, what?
Your wife's gonna blame me. She's gonna say, "Is that Elliot again being being weird. No, it wasn't.
All right, I'm gonna show you.
Don't do it, Michael. Don't do it.
Here. I know it's a red. I'm not gonna play the volume, but dude, this is what punk rock looked like in the 80s. This is like legit. They nailed this so hard, and then the rest of Hollywood is always making these like freaking weird, you know. They would take punk rock and try to make it look like it was from the year 2000 or something.
Yeah.
This is what punkers look like when I was in that scene.
Look at that. That's awesome. Yeah, no kidding. There was a lot of that in New York for sure when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hot stuff back then.
And I think that's TSOL, the band.
There you go. Michael.
Okay. Stop. All right. Let's get past this part. All right, that's enough. Anyway.
It was very blurry. No one saw anything. See?
Michael, stop.
It wasn't. I tried, Michael. I tried to stop you. I kept thinking.
Yeah, what was it? And then what else was really good was but it wasn't punks. It was Mods and Rockers. It was that movie with the young. Was it Sting? What was that movie?
I didn't see it, but if it wasn't cartoons or sci-fi or Ghostbusters, I didn't see it.
Jeez, I'd pop in before bed and find you guys watching. Stop.
We all were yelling.
Dang it! What was that movie? It was Quadrophenia. Have you ever seen Quadrophenia?
No, I didn't see any of that stuff. Was that supposed to?
Quadrophenia was rad. All right, here's the trailer.
There's a bunch of movies I haven't seen.
Hold on.
I still haven't seen Clockwork Orange. I don't want to either. It's weird.
All right, I'm going to share this. It's not a Red Band trailer, so this is a great movie.
You're going to Brighton this weekend, eh?
Gonna be one of the faces down there, now, are you?
What do you mean, going to be? I am one of the faces. So what are we going to do about pills then? I mean, if they go to Brighton, we're going to need bloody millions of them, aren't we? Buddy! I don't want to be the same as everybody else. That's why I'm a mod, see? You got to be somebody, ain't you? I don't give a monkey's arseholes about mods and rockets. There's always some cunt with stars and stripes and who wants to push you about.
You follow me? That's what you are. I'll tell you what you do. You're schizophrenic. That's what you are.
I left home last night. I mean, nothing seems right apart from Brighton. I was a mod there, you know?
Listen, 1 minute you're all right, next minute you're going bloody stupid. You can't even have a bit of the other without kicking your mate's head in for it.
Look, I ain't mad, you know.
What is wrong with you then?
Well, I don't know, it seems like everything's going backwards, that's all.
Oh my gosh, I gotta watch this movie again. I haven't watched this in decades.
It looks cool, actually.
And you got that Who soundtrack. So awesome, dude.
Quadrophenia, is that another word for wearing eye makeup?
There were mods, bro.
My bad.
We are the mods. We are the mods. We are the mods. Mod punks. That is correct. This looks so stupid. I'm sorry. I'll stick to Goodfellas. Vic, how old are you? Like 22 or something? The Who is gonna strike Mike.
Yeah. Well, that's I can't help that. That's something I didn't think to stop Mike for that.
Eat some steaks, get a Harley, and grow some. Goodness, I try to share my culture with you guys.
No, I love it. It's good.
This is the stuff like when I was part of that whole scene, man. Quadrophenia and Suburbia were like the only two movies that anybody thought were like authentic to what the scene was.
What
that
about,
I can remember.
About
Yeah.
was it 1984? No, that's not okay.
No, that's
another
authentic
movie
today.
Yeah. No, there's another one where it was like a bunch of kids from the inner city. It was a terrible movie it had Malcolm McDowell was in it, and the guy ends up fighting. They they end up fighting in the shop, in the like wood shop in the school. Like a bunch of these kids take over the school, and they're bullying the teachers, and the teachers can't do anything. And the one guy gets murdered. He gets he gets thrown onto a table saw. It was awesome. I almost cried in that scene. It was so beautiful.
That sounds familiar.
It's called Class of '84, Class of 1984, something like that. We thought that it was already over. People were so pessimistic with Reagan. They didn't know. Little did they know. But
Tastes better. It tastes like the marshmallows in the cereal. Eden's using me as her taster dummy for her macarons.
Oh, that's good. That's always fun. I'm going to just duplicate this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a print. I'm going to try to put this on my store. This will be one of the few things I do. I was supposed to be connected to this IP. Do you remember that?
Yeah. What happened to that?
I don't know what happened. I didn't hear from those guys after a while. I was like, I don't know what's my responsibility to this group. Nothing. Okay, I'll just keep on. I tried. I really tried. All right, I'm gonna actually duplicate this whole thing because this is stupid. Why would I try to draw all of this all over again? Again, it's a tool.
Class of 57 is a great song by the Stater Brothers. Class of 57. That means you'd be like born in 49. No, 39. That's older than my parents.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta check out that movie.
Wait. 49, 57. No, 49. 48? 47? 46? Check. Which movie?
Class of 84, man.
Class of 84. That sounds familiar.
It's a bad movie. It's not a very good movie.
Yeah.
But, for the
kids. It's, Clockwork Orange is like super degenerate, but it is a freaking fantastic film.
I could never. That guy's. I like him. That's Malcolm
McDowell. Or McDowell.
McDowell. I like. I don't know. I don't really know that I like him, to be honest. He's so weird, and then he played Caligula, right?
Yes, he did.
And I never saw that, and I never wanted to.
I did, and good job not being it.
Just saying, man, it's too weird.
Yeah,
too weird.
He's like, "Hello, I'm Malcolm McDowell. What are your most degenerate films that I could?"
I want to play in all of them. What else did he do? He did
Pablo says Clockwork Orange is really good. Curious says Clockwork Orange sucks. We've got the gamut here.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety. Hey, did you see that speaking of him, because he was in that Rob Zombie version of Halloween. Did you see that they did a sequel with Jamie Lee Curtis to the last Halloween?
I didn't see it. No.
Oh, it looks good. It's called Halloween Kills or Halloween, something like that. It looks great. You know what else? I was again, I bring this up all the time, especially with my kids, trying to educate them. We're talking about like the foolishness of some of the commentary, like, oh, these toxic fans hate women. I'm like, my daughter likes horror stuff, but she's seen a bunch of stuff and it's all kind of trashy. I'm like, honey, you really need to broaden your horizons. But
has she seen Microwave Massacre?
I don't think so. But well, she may have. I don't know. Anyway, I was cheering for Kate Beckinsale in Underworld.
Oh yeah.
And all I
that's
could
funny.
think
Kevin called me tonight.
Kevin called you tonight?
Yeah. Grievous.
Oh, okay. You know him?
Oh yeah, I've known him forever.
Oh,
Since before Underworld.
tell him I said hello. He doesn't know who I am, but tell him the jerkmonger sent you. But I was like, that's a great movie, and I was like, look at me going nuts over Kate Beckinsale. I mean, she was beautiful, but that's not only why, because she was kick buttocks, wasn't she? Just saying.
Yeah.
She was great in that movie.
But she broke up Len Wiseman's marriage.
Who's Len Wiseman?
He's the director
of that movie. Well, can I just say I used to follow her.
Looks like she could break up a marriage.
Yeah, well, like my father used to say, a woman like that could ruin your life if you're lucky. But you know what, though? To be honest, she's kooky, man.
Yeah.
I've seen her on Instagram, and she's, let's just say a bag of crazy cats is a little more appealing to hang out with than what I think she would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not terribly surprised that may have happened, and Godspeed. But she was awesome in that movie, and she did a bunch of them, and they're fun. They're fun movies with action people, and I was trying to explain to my son. That's when the Matrix came out, and a bunch of people were trying to be cool wearing trench coats.
Yeah,
it's like, please stop.
They're like, look, we're 80s punkers from Hollywood.
Jimmy Cricket says Len Wiseman broke up Len Wiseman's marriage.
Oh. Yeah, and he did that with a little help.
Get by with a little help from my friends.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his for that and for what he did to Kevin. So, but we won't talk about that because that's probably not public.
Oh yeah, I don't know anything about that. Tell me later.
All right.
But I like Kevin, man. I like Kevin a lot.
Kevin's a great guy.
Does he know Jesus?
He actually told me at a con once that he credited me with him creating Underworld.
No kidding.
Yeah, because he used to come on. Remember, I told you like I used to argue on the John Byrne messages boards, and I used to argue with Ethan and Kirkman and all these guys back like in 1996, 1997.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin was on those boards, and he asked me what this is what he told me. I don't even remember. I remember I would have said this, but he asked me what I thought about Christians writing fiction. Right? He's like, because it's lying. He's super conservative.
He's a believer?
Oh yeah.
No kidding. That's so cool.
Yeah. He's more conservative than I am. That shot where you see his butt, he didn't know they were shooting that. He won't even swear. If you ever noticed any of the movies in it, he won't even swear in movies. Really? Yeah. So he's a good guy. Good guy.
I like that. It's good peoples.
But yeah, he told me, he asked me what I thought about that, and for some reason he trusted my opinion. And I told him, what Jesus told parables. Is it possible that every parable Jesus told was some story out of reality that he just cribbed out of history because he knows everything? Sure, but it's also, he's telling a tale for the purpose of making a point. So it's like, is he lying? No, he's telling a story. So he's like, yeah.
It's like this.
He says that sort of in his mind gave him permission to write Underworld.
Nice. That's cool, man. That's a great story.
Yeah.
Now introduce us.
I gotta get him on one of these days.
I have a very specific purpose for that, but I'll share that with you one of these days.
Hey, Muertes here. What's up?
What this here? Oh,
Yes, Kevin was the werewolf. He was Ray's.
he was cool. And it's funny. I was telling my kids, I said, you know what's cool about that was that you really could tell who was who. And right off the bat, I was appreciating the design in the movie because you had the vampires wore all the slick black suits, and then all the werewolves had the cool, like, grungy clothes. I was like, yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's really cool stuff. And this is really old movie, so I'm digging on it from that perspective.
Yeah, I like that.
What did you get my message? You guys get my message?
Muerte. We got to have some barbecues. I like going to have barbecues with Muerte and his brother. He's fun and he's delicious meats.
Silver.
If you ever come out to San Diego, we'll all go to barbecue together.
I would be happy to, man. Unless it sinks into the ocean, in which case we'd probably have to put that
Cancel
off a little bit.
I'll take a sinks into the ocean check.
There was a great comic in the 90s. It was in the 90s or early aughts. It was Sub Diego. You ever read that? Oh, probably didn't read it, but it was an Aquaman comic. What's his name? He was the guy that he was drawn. Monkey, Doug Monkey, something like that.
Oh, Mankey.
Is it Mankey? I can never tell for sure.
Mankey, yeah.
He was killing it. He did that Aquaman series. It was about this story where San Diego had sunken into the ocean, and a bunch of the people that from San Diego could all of a sudden, they were like Atlanteans. All of a sudden, they could breathe underwater. It was a cool little saga, and I remember thinking, this is a fun little story here. I like this. That was when I first kind of got into DC, because prior to that, I was really a DC guy, but it was fun.
Doug also, he's a Catholic, but I think he's a believer.
Who's that? Oh, Doug is?
Doug Mankey, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right, man. That's good stuff, man. Hey, I'm going to church on Sunday again. This is my third Sunday or fourth Sunday in a row.
Hey now.
Huh?
Very good, sir. Very good.
It's,
How's it going?
It's okay. It's my daughter's gotten involved with the youth group heavier.
Oh, good.
And, so I'm kind of I want to support her that way. I'm not really Baptist, but it's a Baptist church, but I appreciate those folks, and
they're Orthodox.
I'm all down with the fellowship.
I don't know what if they have any particular quirks, but I know their beliefs are Orthodox, so it's like
yeah. There's a few. Everybody has a couple of things here and there, but and I know I do, because I haven't been to church in over a year. So far be it from me to be critical, but no, I really appreciate them. They won me over. It's a small church, small congregation, a lot of old people, and they're super cool. This one lady in particular, she's just taken a liking to my daughter. She's a sweet lady. They're all older ladies, and they're trying to get her involved in the choir. I'm like, you don't want that. Trust me. My daughter doesn't want that. The embarrassment. I don't want that. I'll be embarrassed.
God doesn't want that.
Trust me.
God gave some of us gifts in different ways. This is not how.
Muerta, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys the email with the images of everything that I owe you, so we can be squared away and be on the same page about that. have the rest of the art to send out to you guys. I was waiting to get that complete. Did you see the I finished Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, you showed it on Wednesday, didn't you?
Did I show it finished?
I believe so. You want to show it again?
Yeah, because I don't think I finished it till yesterday. Let me see.
Really?
Yeah.
What else were you adding?
Let's see. Well, I think what I showed you was Big O.
Oh, duh. Okay.
Yeah, I showed you Big O. I need to turn the light on here, I think. So here's Big O. You saw that. Looking pretty wicked.
All right, hold on.
I added some cool
Yeah.
effects on the face, some things and stuff. But I'm really happy with this one. This one came out super tight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice baby.
I like this. Came out really cool to me. I'm really happy with the way that I handled the folds there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not me trying to. I'm not. I'm definitely. I'm not fishing for compliments. It's that could be tricky if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
And it was happening the way I had planned it in my head, and I was really happy with the way it turned out. But and this came out cool. Look at the ship. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Muerte said, "Love your." I don't know what that means.
Huh?
Here.
Love your. So yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm fishing for compliments. No, I'm not.
Oh, love your style, Elliot. I think you hit enter a little early.
Yeah. So I got that. So this weekend I'm going to be compiling all the other items so we can get squared away. All of that.
Awesome.
Turn the slide off.
I need to figure out what to do here. I don't really understand what Kevin's going for on this shadow right here.
I was gonna try to when I was talking about inking, I didn't know that you wanted to ink it. I was gonna suggest doing it for you.
No, I wanted to. Dude, that's why he drew it.
Okay, I'm just saying. Sheesh.
I'm just saying, man. He drew it because I told him I wanted to ink something of his sometime. He's like, well, I can do something. And I'm like, I don't know how it came along, but it was because I was wanting to ink something of his. Something. I don't know if he's gonna like it. Muerte loves us both equally. We love you too,
yeah.
Muerte, and your brother.
That's faux show.
Mistletoe, I said, I love Elliot's style too. It's very much how I would like to be able to draw one day. What am I, chopped liver?
That's a little weird to me. I'm not really sure what the style is that everybody likes. I think what it is I've combined my animation love with comic stuff, and I think it has a nice look, but I'm not sure that I've accomplished anything specific with it. I still from time to time switch back, like this right here is not quite, although this is kind of in the same ballpark, right? Essentially. I'm just adding more detail because of I know, but like these characters are a little more in that style too. Yeah, I guess so.
You cannot get away from your style, Elliot.
Well, I don't know that I have. I still
do have a style. It is innate.
I don't know that I can't see it that way yet, but I appreciate it. I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Is it a good thing?
Everybody's got style, bro. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. But
I only wear. I don't like to wear Nikes. That's a style. Oh, I enjoy Adidas more. My buddy works for Adidas, man.
No, I'm not taking what I am saying very seriously.
What are you talking about?
I say I'm not taking what I'm saying very seriously.
This what you are saying, it is wrong.
I don't think it is wrong.
Partly metal, partly real. Silver hawks.
Partly metal, partly real. Like metal's not real. Partly imaginary. Part
They are
hallucination.
clearly not real. They're just cartoons.
Figment of your mind.
I just realized I didn't finish drawing this. Oh well. I'll be drawing.
How do you like Kevin's Bigfoot bill there?
I like it.
I
The
like
eyes look weird. The eyes look weird.
That's
But
fine.
it's
Bigfoot Bill's eyes are a little weird.
Well, he's a cartoon, right?
Right.
So I think it feels like you know what it feels like? It feels a little bit like Roger Who Stole Roger Rabbit or whatever.
Oh, Who Framed Roger?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit has some of those weird like characters. Bigfoot Bill is not wasn't designed to be fit in this universe. But he's in the universe nonetheless. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and convert this into a traditional ink piece. I might start over with it. Pay some bills. All right, so what's is anything going on tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Later on tonight, I should say, Saturday night.
No. Tomorrow doesn't start till I get up.
Oh,
I don't know why people have such a problem with that. We got a church barbecue in the AM, and my wife's going to Los Angeles, so streaming
is that
streaming
from?
works for me.
Okay. How far away is Los Angeles from?
2 hours.
Is it?
Thanks, Isaac. I didn't know the answer.
He was just letting you know, Mike. He was just being a good son.
Isaac, do you want to give an update to everybody on how your how camp was today? Better?
I liked it.
Come here. Come talk into the microphone. Tell us what you did.
I played God.
What did he do?
For 4 hours.
I said come talk into the microphone, you lazy.
Why do I have to go over there?
Ugh. So I don't have to just repeat everything you say.
Well, that's about it.
All right, lazy boy. He played Gaga Ball for like 4 hours.
What's Gaga Ball?
It's this Israeli sport that's like you get in this 3 or 4 foot high octagon, and then you play. It's like soccer with your hand. It's like soccer dodgeball, right?
Okay.
So you can hit the ball with your hands on the ground, but you can't pick it up and you can't throw it or all that stuff. And then it's like dodgeball where you have to try to get everybody else out. And it's really fun, but it's not for us old folks.
Why? Because it's hard to move.
Oh, dude, I wrecked myself last camp, and I was playing that just for like an hour.
Oh, is this that was recently, right?
That camp was like 6 months ago.
Okay, but is that the last camp you went to? I think I remember you.
Yeah, we have another camp next month.
That's fun. That's fun, Michael. Are you the youth pastor, or are you just helping out?
I'm just an adult leader, volunteer.
Chaperone ish.
I'm
going to be volunteering in my daughter's high school.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to be a part of the cowboy crew.
Cowboy crew.
And I did sign up for chaperoning from time to time if I can.
Nice.
I'm trying to get better, Michael. I'm trying to get better.
Very good.
My kids
it
are
feels
seeing
good
more.
You know what, man? I mean, I'm sitting here behind this desk all this time, and my kids are right behind me, and I love it, and I love being here for them and everything. But to get out with them and play with them at at high school group and camp and stuff. It is really a nice break and more dedicated time to like do things. It's like I know I should take more time to stop and just play Uno or whatever here, but it when I'm stuck in that workaholic mode, it's sometimes it's hard to just break away and say, you know what, I need to go play with my kids.
Well, yeah, you guilted me into this anyway.
I did.
I fully intended to be a absent dad, and then you.
That was the Holy Spirit, bro.
No, it was you. You inspired me. I hate it. No, but it's going cool. Some good stuff is going on.
Awesome.
I mean,
yeah, it's funny. A friend of mine was the one that was impressing me on how much of a huge effect youth group had on him. He's a pastor now, but it was just like he used to tell me, you know, it's like youth group is just like this is such a huge part and blah blah blah. And he used to just go on and on about it. It's like it kind of impressed me to get my kids into youth group and just make sure they're a part of that thing. But
yeah, Kylie, my daughter, she went to a camp this summer, a couple weeks ago. And it was good. I used to. You ever heard of Teen Mania?
No.
Okay, I don't know where they're from then, but anyway, a lot of non-denominational churches go there. But and the church I used to go to was non-denominational, and they ran a nice camp, and it was impressive. She, my daughter gave her heart to the Lord there, and among other things. And
dude, those camps are powerful, man.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's such a good time. You have to pray with the kids and stuff.
When people will say, "Oh, that's a lot of it's emotional," I'm like, "Yeah, but when you're a kid, everything's emotional." So it's you just hope
dude, if you can take the time to volunteer at the camp, do it.
Oh, it's a bigger organization. This one is called the Teen Mania was like a weekend thing. Like you would do it was in a town, and you go there each day for 2 days, and then it would end at that night. But this was a full week, and they went to South Carolina, and it was good. I mean, it was a little weird because it was the first time my daughter had gone anywhere by herself, and I did not like that. But I was trying to be a good dad. I was trying not to be. I keep saying I'm not a helicopter dad, but I find myself hovering quite a bit. But that's regardless of all that.
You're like Les Nessman. From WKRP in Cincinnati, remember?
No.
You'd be like, this is Les Nessman in the WKRP helicopter.
I suppose I am. Oops. Yeah, but it's cool, man. The kids are growing up, and they won't be with us for too long now. My son's gonna turn 18 next year, and go figure.
Yeah.
You beg for a little more time just so you can hopefully do it better the next time, and we'll see. All I can do is pray for God to pick up the pieces that I broke along the way.
Well, we do what we can. None of us is perfect.
Yeah.
God knows I'm not a perfect father. My kids will tell you I'm no perfect father.
As dads go, I'm a scrub. Nobody picks me for their team. That was me when I was a kid. I never got picked for anything. I couldn't play sports at all. I was like, I just want to play. No, we want to win. Like, shut up, jerks.
Roscoe says, your humor and references remind me so much of my dad, Mike. Roscoe, are you like 20?
Something happens to you when you're a dad. Something
Well,
very
I mean,
strange.
the references part is what I'm talking about. I mean,
No, I'm
humor.
saying that the references is almost like a DNA thing. You just start saying weird stuff, and every dad says it. Like the dad jokes. You ever do that? How many dad jokes have you told in your lifetime?
4,328,000.
Dude, I know that's true. I mean, not personally. I don't know that you said it. I know for me it's true.
Yeah, dude.
But, I do it now just to embarrass my daughter. I take great.
You know what? Dad jokes. Dad jokes are just jokes that flop. So I've been doing that my whole life.
What did you just say?
I said dad jokes are just jokes that flop.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, but they're like puns. Puns tend to be dad jokes, right?
Yeah. If they're punny enough. I'll be 29 a week from Monday. See? Your dad is my generation. There you go.
I knew it.
59. Yeah.
The generation.
Talking about my generation. My generation.
Boom.
I saw the Who in, I think, 1988. And already at that point, when they said, I hope I die before I get old, I was thinking, you might want to amend that song. And they're still out there singing it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I hope I die before I get older than I am now.
It didn't work out, fellas. You're still here.
It only worked out for one of them. That's bad. I'm sorry.
It's for the kids. I keep saying that. That's clearly the worst kind of irony. It's foolish irony. But man, that's what's up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Fuzzy Creature is asking another one of his questions, as he does.
Okay.
He says, Mike, why are you doing this? Monster Hunt 2 has been long shipped, right? No. Monster Hunt 2, according to Indiegogo, isn't even due until October.
Talking about Sorry, I got caught up with that.
My generation. And Fuzzy, that the Shad project hasn't launched yet, and I'm in no rush to publish or to go to print on this book or Lone Star 3, frankly, until he launches that project and I can scoop up some of that attention for these projects.
That's right.
That was always the intention. And I mean, I don't want to hate on Shad. He's had some, personal issues to deal with, including a surgery. But, the original intent was for that to launch before these books launched. That didn't happen.
It's like the Who.
What?
Like the Who.
Yeah.
Right. See, it's a callback, Mike. It's called a callback.
Why are you doing this re-inking? This isn't re-inking. This is inking. I am inking a back cover that was just given to me by Kevin Sharp.
Where is Kevin? Why isn't he
Hey,
here?
that one guy at the beginning of the show that tried to start crap never responded to my questions.
Oh, well, he probably left.
I wanted to answer. I wanted to see his answers so that I could respond to him.
No, Michael. Did you hear about that Tim Pool fiasco?
What?
So Tim Pool made a tweet. I don't know. I probably shouldn't even bring it up because I don't have the full details. But I don't pay attention to Twitter, but he people were upset with him because he was getting criticized for suggesting that people should dox themselves. So it's like that. First of all, no, I'm sure he didn't say that. But what he was talking about was about is what I always say, like if people are going to just hide behind names,
anonymity, yeah,
it's if it's nothing wrong with that, but I can't really, and I'm one of those guys that I don't have any financial freedom in that regard, so I have no reason to put mine. I should have just stayed jerkmonger, but I didn't, and so I'm going to say it for him. He can't say it. You guys want to criticize him if you want. Don't even come at me if you don't even have your face and your name normal. I don't want to hear it.
Dude, I tried to do that once. I made a sock puppet account. This is like back in the AOL days. For the purpose of having what I'm saying spoken without the baggage of me being the guy saying it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm just some anonymous nobody and I say something, will it have the same sort of, will I get the automatic vitriol of me being the one saying it? And then somebody found out that I was using a sock puppet, and then I got crap for using a sock puppet. And I was like, the point of the sock puppet was so that I could just say have these arguments and discussions without the weight of my name behind it.
No, Michael, you don't understand.
I didn't understand.
You can't do that. What are you talking about? That's foolish talk.
It is.
How dare you be human?
That's crazy. Well, I was trying to be a bot.
Okay. All right. My defense of you is over. Whenever people say that, I always think of a fembot. I can't even respect the term. I just I always only think of that. What are you gonna do?
Roscoe says his name is not actually Roscoe and wants to know if he can still talk to you, Elliot.
Oh, you could talk to me. I'm just saying, if you're gonna bring some douchebaggery, please don't bother. I'd rather you wouldn't.
Yeah, people get real brave behind pseudonyms.
And that was the point of that, is that people say things and then they say hard things, like ugly, like not just ugly things. It's not about that. It's not about feelings. Right. It's about like doxing, and they do all that stuff behind those anonymous accounts. And but that's part of, that's part of the deal, I guess. I mean, that's what we're all signed up for, I suppose. I probably
but that was the irony of me doing a pseudonym. I wasn't trying to say, because the harsh stuff I would say under my own name. I was trying to make rational arguments without people just jumping on me because I am
who you are, right?
Yeah.
See, I've never been that way. I've never really been very political online. I'm very political privately when I talk to my friends.
Stop.
Who?
I remember you on Facebook.
No, you must remember somebody else. I never would do it. Maybe around, I don't know. To be honest, I cannot remember myself.
Well, I think you were in a blind rage.
Maybe. But I mean, it just doesn't. It never really. Maybe this is before I decided. Like I just needed to just like, it's not important. Like I can't make those kinds of. I can't, certainly on Twitter. I can't make I don't think it's the appropriate place to make a valid argument. Although it seems like some people seem to be able to do it, and I follow a lot of the guys that do like the religious debating, and that's weird. But there's some weird stuff that happens there. But I just don't care. I don't think 280 characters is enough. There's not enough nuance in that to get.
Nah, that's why you got to have your political religious debates on Facebook.
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna do them, and even then, I don't like typing it. I never like typing because I don't think you can get the nuance. Sometimes I'm a bit sarcastic, and it doesn't come across like that. It'll come across like I'm being sincere, and I'm like, no, it's a joke. It's a joke. So it's a matter of this, letting your yays be yays, your nays be nays type of thing.
Yeah.
CC, have a great night, man.
Hey, good night, CC. D-baggery, LOL.
Yeah.
Hey, what's interesting? I usually always kind of have these little tete-a-tetes with Joe Benitez. Well, I love Joe.
Okay.
But he's I'd say he's sort of an open-minded liberal with leftist leanings.
Okay.
But he's got a bunch of like super hard left friends that always come in and wanna pick a fight, because he's constantly posting like Occupy Democrats or this, that, or the other, and then asking people for their opinions on it. Like he's just throwing crap into the wind to see who it.
You talking about Joe?
And then it's always Ali Garza always tags me in those posts and says, "But what does Mike Miller think?" And so, but I noticed very recently that, you know what? Since our real dear leader isn't in office, I'm not getting the kind of instantaneous knee-jerk hate-on reactions.
Why do you think that is?
Because without the constant drumbeat of the media saying that everything that Trump said is stupid, evil, and wrong, without that drumbeat, they're not dancing to that tune. And so it's like, I'm like, I've been able to reach and have these conversations. Like Joe posted something about how all of these people like have lost all this money, and then like the 5 biggest retailers made like $1.7 trillion in profits last year, right? And I responded that this is what happens when how did I phrase it? Something about crony capitalists, and boy, I wish I could remember it word for word. But basically, which politicians are getting greased, right? Because the pandemic shutdown made people trillions of dollars. And I'm like, now which politicians are in the pockets of these businesses. And he's like, I'm starting to see that. I'm like, a crack in the wall, right?
Yeah.
This is it. And I'm like, and then this other girl, Mandy McMurray, comes on, and she's like, Mike, how am I agreeing with what you're saying? And I didn't want to be like, because you've probably stopped watching MSNBC. But I was like, I'm like, look, we all have essentially the same goals, right? We want clean air. We want clean environment. We want to help the helpless. We want, I listed all these basic principles, but it's the politicians and the complicit media that are always turning us against each other. And I use the example of like the way, we all want the same goals. We want to help the homeless, or we want to help the poor, right?
Right.
The left wants to give them money. The right wants to give them jobs, get them jobs, right? These are our solutions. And when you had Bill Clinton working with Newt Gingrich, you got welfare to work, right? It's like a happy medium. And then, but then when the leftists took complete power, they got rid of welfare to work, which was working. It did reduce poverty. It was getting more people into the workforce. It was doing everything we wanted to do to help the poor. But instead of that, we got more people on food stamps than any time in the history of the world. And it's like,
yeah.
But now, that they're not constantly on the defensive against Trump, they're listening. The people that are in this conversation, that is usually it's me alone versus all of Joe's friends. Joe pipes in occasionally, but he usually just likes to start the fire and then see where it goes.
Yeah.
But they're listening and they're agreeing with me.
My buddy Felix used to do that at the comic shops. We'd have these same conversations with the comic shops.
Yeah.
And I used to call him, I would call him Flex, and then eventually I called him Flex Luthor because he's always starting trouble like that. Like, damn it, Felix, every time you say something, okay, fine, I'll go in and I'll jump in. So, I mean, and that's interesting. Now, here's an interesting question. Do you think that, because here's my concern, Trump is, there's rumors going around that he's interested in 2024 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, will that backfire? Like, are you concerned that people who are thinking clearly now will stop? Or do you think there's time for people to kind of maintain the stream of consciousness, if you will?
If they can be, if there's enough time for them to clear the MSNBC cobwebs out of their heads, and Trump's infomercial is all the video of him saying what was true, and then all of the media and all of the Democrats lying about it, and then all of that coming out to be true, like hydrochloroquine, like Wuhan, all of this stuff, dude. It's piling every day. It seems like there's something else he's being proven right about. If he can craft a commercial like that will open the eyes of these people that they have been lied to for 4 years by the Democrats and the complicit media, then I think that will change some minds.
I hope so. My concern though is I still think that the left is controlling the media enough. Even though they're tanking in the ratings and blah blah blah, still there's still enough out there. So because I'm gonna get a little personal here. My wife is hanging out with someone today who is very liberal.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is very not political, even though she kind of agrees with me, but that's because I've taught her well. But this gal she hangs out with she's the one that gave her a hard time for All Lives Matter. And my wife was like, what are you talking about? That makes sense. And blah, blah, blah. So today, they were supposed to hang out, and she's like, oh, it's been a while, and I'm like, I don't mean to be a pessimist. I just don't believe a leopard changes his spots, at least not that fast. So, but again, I'm trying to be gracious, God's challenging me on that way. But for crying out loud, she's just not a nice person. So she said other stuff that those type of people that think that way would say in those circumstances. And that's because they genuinely, because the other part of the problem is, as far as we're in this, where we're at, we have a very weird thing going on. Like we have the challenges of the communication and the messaging, but then we also have the problem that these people think that they're right, even though they're practicing the very opposite, right? Like, so a lot of what you see in I don't want to get your channel struggling like that, but in the B blank, right? Or CRT stuff, like that's very racist, but they won't admit it. So they're basically creating their echo chamber again, so they can just say what they want, and they don't have to worry about. There's no consequence for them because they really believe that they're right, even though they don't have any real foundation or any quantifiable evidence to prove that. And we can come up with all kinds of like, oh, but see this. And they're like, yeah, but still. What about this? Yeah, but still. So like you said about they're still arguing in some cases that there's still people that believe that it, okay, they haven't come out with definitive proof that it came out of the Wuhan lab, right? But do you really need that much proof? I'm like, whatever happened to if it quacks like a duck and if it walks like a duck, it's a duck.
You know what the proof is the scientists who've been coming out saying they knew it all along, but they didn't want to agree with Donald Trump.
But see, I blame those guys immensely. But then,
oh yeah,
I don't know, man. Like they're like, well, okay, like masks, right? The CDC or whatever, the WHO, they said you don't have to wear masks. So they don't want to believe that. They're arguing against the science that they argued against us in the first place for arguing against the science.
Yep, I know.
It's the same scientists. Now they don't believe it. I'm like, well, what is it going to take? And I think that's where I have to kind of stop, because I'm like, I understand we're not really playing the game. You guys are not playing. You guys took the ball away from the court a long time ago. We're not really having a conversation. This is not English.
Yeah.
This is foolish.
Oh, actually, that's another good talking, or not talking point, but point about what I was talking about is that gal Mandy is. I mentioned that my brother had freaking virtue signaled inside Target because he's from Portland and he's been hanging around with too many of these nutcases, and so he's inside Target with a mask on with his son and his girlfriend, and they all have masks on, and he virtue signals. He's like not yells, but he raises his voice. He's like, "Oh, you're not wearing your mask. You must be fully vaccinated." And I'm like, I'm as vaccinated as I'm ever going to be. And I'm like, wait a minute. You are vaccinated. Why are you wearing your mask? He's all, oh, because I want to. Well, he didn't say it like that. I'm making fun of him. But then this Mandy girl, she's like, I said this on Facebook, and she's like, what do you mean by virtue signaling? Right? And normally she would have jumped. She wouldn't have asked. She would have just said something about, oh yeah, virtue signaling, blah blah blah. She has fought with me for like 4 years, like every single thing. But she just came out and asked, what do I mean by virtue signaling? And I explained it. I said, it's when you're making a big deal. I said, well, take this example. It's like you're trying to, shame someone for disagreeing with your opinion in a loud and vocal way to get the attention of somebody else, right? And I think he was doing it for his son.
To gain the approval of your tribe.
Yeah, right? And she's like, nobody's ever explained what that meant to me.
Wow.
I was like, right? It's like, yeah. And I said, I only learned this word, 2-3 years ago. So it's like, but if you have some other word to describe it that's not triggering, let me know. And she's like, no, it's just, nobody's ever explained what it meant.
That's like, beautiful. Mike, right? It's like an episode of the Waltons in your area. What's going on?
Hey, Fanatra's in the chat. What's up, Fanatra?
Oh man. Let's see. Curious to asked earlier why I was drawing Silverhawks, because the work that I'm supposed to be working on I can't share because it's under NDA. So I picked something else that I have.
I got NDA too. We're doing the secrets.
The secrets of secrets.
Secrets. They got a secret.
Yeah, I that's another reason why I don't like to fight online, because I don't really believe we're not really engaging in a conversation. I feel super strongly that, I don't know if it was because of my dad or what, but I'm like, if we're not making any headway here, then I'm done with you. You're wasting my oxygen. I really hate wasting time with people.
Yeah, I think for me though, I love
sounds like it's
I love
working out.
Joe and I love Ali, and in periphery, I love everybody that I just love everybody, and I don't want to. I believe there is hope for those guys to see the truth, because I am their friend and they will listen to me. Even if they disagree with me, they'll listen to me. Right. And so because of that, I will take the time, and even if particularly Ali will tease me here and there. But he'll drag me into these conversations. I think because he wants to see if I can make a good argument,
Yeah. Well, good for him then. I mean, I hope that works out. And again, it's not. I left the Republican Party a while back, a couple years ago. So I'm not trying to bring anybody over to the party. That's not my.
Oh, hell no.
I just want people to. It's not even for. Even that. You see what they've done? Like just saying simple things. Like I just want to encourage people to think more logically. Oh, they literally created arguments against logic. That's so frustrating to me. Like I that's like saying, you're not really breathing air. Oh, for crying out loud. Then what am I breathing? Like I don't even know how to respond to that anymore.
Well, you're a hologram.
I'm an oxygenist.
You're just a hologram, Elliot.
Is that what I am? Well, I guess so. But I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh, dude! I watched this whole documentary on what do you call it? It's that theory, right? That life is a what do they call it? A simulation.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Simulation theory, right? Elon Musk has been pushing this thing and whatnot, and ultimately, I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but the repercussions of it can be pretty grim if people take that to extremes.
Yeah.
Because if you are in a simulation, it doesn't mean, we still only get the one life, right? So it doesn't mean that life is any less precious. It means that life is more precious, because it means that someone is controlling the simulation, and therefore there is a creator and a purpose to each of our programs, right?
Yeah.
And there's this one dude, and during this whole documentary, he's been sort of taking part in a narrative about how the Matrix was just this groundbreaking thing, and he realized that he was in this simulation. He was in the Matrix, and it's not until you get to the end of the movie where he goes downstairs and he shoots his mother in the chest with a shotgun, and then he turns around and he shoots his father 3 times. He goes back upstairs, reloads the shotgun, comes back down to the basement, and his mom is still alive at the bottom of the basement going, "Joseph, what have you done? What have you done?" And then she's like, "You wouldn't dare." And he pulls the trigger and blows her face into ribbons. And then he goes upstairs, and his sister has been on the phone. She was on the phone with her dad that whole time. And she's like, "What's happening? Where's Dad?" And he's like, "Tiffany, hang up the phone." He's like, "I have to make a phone call." But she doesn't hang up the phone. So he goes and uses a cell phone, calls a 911, and then just sits there waiting to be arrested. And you realize that this whole interview he's been doing is from prison, because he's been in jail this whole time and won't be out until 2046 or something like that. And it's like, he's like, I just told the judge that my he's the guy that they came up with the Matrix plea. It's like an insanity plea, but it's the Matrix, right? To believe you're in a simulation.
Yeah.
And he's like, his defense attorney was like, just, he wanted to use the Matrix plea and get him off on basically insanity. And when it came time, he got up and he told the judge, he's just like, I deserve to die. He's like, I wake up every day in remorse for what I did. And he just pled guilty. He's like, no, I ain't even gonna fight this.
Wow.
But it was all because he went so far in that simulation theory that he thought it was all fake.
There's a Christian guy on YouTube. You ever see this guy? What do you meme? You ever watch that? He's really good, but he turned me on to this other cat, this white dude he spends a lot of energy in doing apologetic work with Muslims.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's really good. He's really good, but he has he if you go to his channel, I forget that dude's name, but if you go to his channel, his main video is his testimony, and he has one of those mental. I don't know if it's a mental disorder or not, but he lacks empathy. Like he can't.
Oh, he's a sociopath.
Yeah, and he's very aware of it. And he's been able to. He got married and he has a family, but he struggles with that all the time because he's a Christian now. But anyway, he talks about that. He said that he intended to murder his father, and he took a hammer and cracked him on the head and broke.
I think you told me about this dude. Yeah,
man, it's a deep story, man. And there's Brendan DeZella says Act 17, David Wood. Yeah. It's powerful stuff, man. He's not.
David Wood. Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
Yeah. He's solid stuff. But I was impressed. I was like, whoa, that's a crazy testimony. I'm not sure I would have even expressed it, but he's like, he's that's helped me out a lot actually, because if a guy like that can say, look, man, I'm broken, and he had a lot of interesting things to say about some of these recent allegations that came up about certain. They're not just allegations; now they're actually true about some of these preachers who are doing some whacked out stuff. But he was like, look, man, this is what happens when you put people on pedestals. You forget we're not supposed to be doing that, and here's why: because we all have something to be ashamed about somewhere, and we're all broken unless you've got. I was just like, thanks, man. Thank you. Help me breathe for a second. He's good. I like him. But yeah, he talked about that. He said he cracked his dad, but his dad didn't die. And he ended up meeting this guy in prison. He becomes this like crazy, not crazy, but I guess he was kind of crazy. But he killed his dog. I think he did a bunch of weird stuff. Or his dog died, and I don't know, it was weird stuff. And his buddy's dog dies, what it was, and he's like he couldn't cry or something. He couldn't, like, he just thought it was like normal. He kind of reminds me of Rob Zombie's Michael Myers. Do you ever see that his version of Halloween? The kid portrayed as the kid that's portraying young Michael Myers is exactly that kind of personality. He's like, I don't care anymore. I'm just killing stuff. It's like, what? How can you live like that?
Oh, you know what? In that other story, I think the thing that sort of snapped him out of the the illusion, I guess, was his mother's face just being shredded into ribbons, because he's like, that was not like the Matrix. He's like, the reality of what happened when you blow somebody away like that, it was so much reality that I think that was what like snapped him to like, oh, this isn't the Matrix.
Yeah, this is not what they sold me. This is a different story. God forbid, man.
Hey, it is 1:00 here, and
yes, sir.
I have a church barbecue tomorrow.
You got it, man. Like I said, I'm just drawing this to hang out with you. I appreciate you bringing me on one more again.
I hear you, mi amigo. Appreciate you, brother. And everyone, please do go back Doom Kicker. Elliot's awesome project. And this one, it's in the description, or you can go to LoneStarComic.com and get some stuff there. All of our wonderful comic books will be delivered to you at some time in the not terribly distant future. No. We promise. God bless everybody. Say goodnight, Elliot.
Good night, Elliot.